Happy June 11th. Happy Tuesday. We're doing this live today on a Tuesday. Normally we're doing it on Wednesday. But tomorrow I have another appointment during that same time. So we're doing it today. We have quite a few exciting topics. We're obviously going to discuss what happened with Roaring Kitty. We're going to discuss the cash and carry trade that has a lot of news right now. We're going to discuss the Ethereum ETF. We're going to discuss the interest rates tomorrow. We're going to discuss the Apple event that happened yesterday. We're going to discuss Elon's vote on Thursday. We have a bunch of topics. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm going to start off with giving you a bit of an update what's happening on the cake side. But before I do this, Fabio, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Give us the high-level intro to the community, to the sentiment, what's in crypto, what are the discussion points from a high level.
Yeah, so of course we dumped a few percentages, so it's over. It's bear market sentiment right now.
Why did we dump? I didn't follow it. Why did we dump?
If you ask AI, it comes up with minor capitulation. And wait, let me actually pull this up. A friend of mine, he asked AI why we're currently dumping, and the AI basically said the investors are scared of the Federal Reserve meeting. The first net outflow days, or Bitcoin ETFs had an outflow days after 19 days of inflows. Massive liquidations for long liquidations, and minor capitulation were the 4 points that AI is basically giving the reason for the dump. But I'm not sure if this is if there is a specific reason. I mean, the volatility is still quite low. Of course, there's like 4, 5 red candles, but it's not that bad. We've seen much. I don't know. Other than that, I think that all eyes are currently more in the macro world, like with the things that you just mentioned that we're going to dive into a bit later. But there's not a lot happening in the crypto or in the Bitcoin world at the moment.
Then let me start on the company side, and then we're going to dive through topic. On the cake side, first, it's day 14 of our 90-day comeback game plan. Thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting us so far. We actually have seen, for the first time in a super long time, growing KYC numbers again. Look, during those 8 months of the winding up application, actually, we have seen negative numbers, meaning more people canceled their accounts than people actually who wanted to sign up and do their KYC. I don't think there was a single week in those 8 months where we had positive inflows. Now we finally have weeks again with positive inflows. I want to be also very honest, it's the very beginning. So if this is all that we would have, this was just a drop in the bucket. And look, this is totally understandable. This is really the beginning of that turnaround. So I just want to say thank you so much right now for supporting. Obviously, we are still we have way more ahead of us, and we're going to be building, we're going to be growing. Couple of things. We announced this last week. We have the customized bundles that are ready. So if you want to set up your own customized bundle and then market this to friends or followers, then we are happy to pay you for that. It's going to be quite exciting. We have a couple dozen bundles ready on this. What we're going to do is we're actually going to step in, help you with the naming, help you with the descriptions, help you with the graphics, really try to really help you with marketing them, giving you some catchy post names and so on. So the team is really going all out to make sure that the launches of those bundles this week are going to do really, really well. The other thing, we're going to be adding more and more coins, because this is obviously also the other question that people ask, which kind of coins, which kind of things. And so we want to keep adding and adding and adding. The goal here is 90 new coins added in 90 days, and I think we're on track on that. And one thing the team has really been working on, yesterday we had a really good meeting on this to finalize everything, is really to solve that entire taxation issue that many jurisdictions have. And so the way this is going to work, and there's actually quite a nice few follow-up things on this, is just that everything becomes more like a liquid staking model. So on the staking side, it's a liquid staking model where you don't get rewards as cash flow that you're getting taxed on, but actually it's more like a liquid staking model where then that price of that token goes up and you can convert out. Has a lot of benefits from a taxation side. Also, it means that everyone is auto compounding. So that is a really, really strong one. And for those who want to get cash flow out of it, they can, but you just have to manually sell yourself. And that's really going to help for the entire product. We're going to offer the same on the bundle side, where then basically those bundles become a token, and the rebalancing in those bundles doesn't trigger a taxable event. Or again, I'm not a tax advisor, but shouldn't trigger a taxable event. So obviously, you need to check this with your own tax advisor. But from what we understand, it doesn't, and this could be extremely exciting and extremely interesting. In a second step, this also allows us to actually tokenize this on the blockchain. So we could then use those tokens and actually tokenize them on various blockchains. And this could also be very interesting for liquidity, for trading, for interest, and so on. So these are things that the team is furiously working on. I think this is going to be really exciting, very, very powerful. So looking forward to that. And obviously, all of this comes together. Fiat on ramp, something we discussed. We need to improve on that. The team is working on that as well. So yeah, it's been, the team is really, really working hard, and I think you feel the energy. I mean, still a long road ahead. It's day 14. It's week 2, but yeah, let's hope we can auto compound on that, or compound on that, and really kind of turn the ship around. Right now, it's not turned around. Right now, it feels more like, okay, we finally have a little bit of the steering going, but the ship is far from being turned around. But at least it's a first step. So yeah, looking forward to that. Stay tuned for all these things. So that's really happening on the company side. So that's quite cool. I'm gonna be in Europe over the weekend and then next week. So yeah, I know. I think I'm gonna meet a couple of you there as well. It's gonna be quite interesting. Meeting the European team as well on the cake side. Fabio, Ferhat, Ewald, Arba, Fabrizio. It's gonna be a nice get together. Really looking forward to that. So Flo is also gonna be there, I think. So yeah, really cool. It's been a while. So yeah. Sound not working? Really? Is that true? Can
No,
someone
it's
tell me?
working. It's
No, I
working.
mean, Ferhat says it's very, Ferhat doesn't, must know what we're talking about, so the sound must be working. Yeah, so that's it on the company side. Anything else on the company side you want to jump in right now, Fabio? Otherwise, let's go to Roaring Kitty, but I want to just
So
give you the option there.
look, the only thing from the standpoint of the community, from the standpoint of a customer that is actually using the product, is we are very much aware that, especially for the bundles, so we see a lot of interest from the bundles. Like, we're reading what you guys have to say about them, and the main stepping stone there is you guys want to have an easy on-ramp solution to enter the bundles, reoccurring buys and just one-time buys into bundle. And right now we know that we have a stepping stone there, and we could do an easy duct tape solution right now, but we are working on a sustainable, really good solution with a good on-ramp partner. So it's just bear with us for another week or two this month. We feel very comfortable that we have an on-ramp that is exactly what you guys are looking for. You know, a great way to establish or put in reoccurring buys and one-time buys to enter into smart bundles and custom bundles. We know that this is a top priority, and we hopefully execute in a fantastic way within a reasonable amount of time. That would be the only thing that I want to add. So yeah, let's go into GME and Roaring Kitty.
Do you want to give us a bit of the overview of what happened there?
Yes. So I'm not sure. Do I really want to go back into the early days of, so Roaring Kitty is an
Cut it
American
really
dude.
short than the 2021, 2022 one, and really kind of give us then
Yeah.
the bit of the rundown on the last months.
His name is Keith, I think. He calls
He's sure.
himself deep fucking value, I think, on Reddit. He has a YouTube channel called Roaring Kitty. He's also active on X, and he had he became kind of famous in 2020 and 2021 when we saw that first spike in the GME price. And he's basically said, hey, look, this company has value. It has a lot of people that still believe in it, and there's way too much short selling happening. And here I want to just, so this guy actually knows what he's doing. Like, this is not a degen. He has a financial certificate. He actually studied and worked in this industry, and he knows how to look at a stock and how to analyze it. But there was a movie made about him, and I don't know, it's a funny movie. I don't think it's a great one. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's a good movie if you kind of want to. It's called Dumb Money, and if you want to go up to speed what happened and have a nice story and pack this in an entertaining fashion, then you might want to watch that movie. But so he was silent for 3 years, no social posts, no YouTube, nothing. And then a month ago, he came with a bunch of memes And there were many theories about, is it really him? Why is he coming back? GME pumped again. And then last Friday, he set up YouTube Live, where he actually came online. And if you were encountering him for the first time, you would just take him for a fool because he acted like a fool. He was drinking beer, he was stuttering, he was mumbling, he didn't really say anything, and a lot of people were kind of disappointed by the live stream. But, and here comes the but, and this is just my interpretation, he's playing everybody here because the shorts right now are at an all-time high. I think he, at one point during the live stream or the day before the live stream, he was worth 800 million. And basically during the live stream, he lost like 350 million. So his current net worth is approximately 200 million or so. But if GME reaches,
yeah, but I think it dropped even further. He posted, I'm just looking on Super Stonk. He is, I mean, I don't know what his net worth is, but at the moment, yeah, 200 million, but I'm not sure if this is the actual value. Okay, it could be that's 200 million. I'm never sure if this is actually the value or just the notional amount.
Yeah, but Diamond Hands, he hasn't sold a single cent, like his position. And the only thing that he basically clarified during the live stream is that it was him making the posts, that he's not partnering with anybody else, and that this is not financial advice. I think he said that like 100 times, and that he's just sharing his own positions and his own outlook and why he still thinks the stock has value. That's basically what he did during the live stream. I don't. What are your thoughts on everything?
I mean, look, I have to take it at face value what he says there, right? I mean, if he does work with someone or he is funded or there's a profit share or something, I mean, all statements are off. But I do take it at face value. If I take it at face value, what I also have to then say is that he definitely traded against the community. He sold when he didn't sell, when he said he's not selling, because otherwise, how is he? On all the calculations that I've seen, he actually must have timed the market quite well to actually get to those financials. So that's why there was a lot of suspicion or speculation that he has someone working with him. So I don't think both things can match together. From everything that I have seen so far on the financial analysis from people on his activities. So either he does have some funding, or he has been trading in and out. And look, I personally don't have an issue with either, right? I don't think he has done anything illegal there, but I mean, one of those heroes has to die. It's either the hero that he had diamond hands, or it's the hero that he does work with someone. I don't understand how, like, from all the financial calculations, it works out. Again, I don't have an issue with that. To me, he's not the hero that dies there. I think it's just amazing on how he drives all this and how he, I know, how he really kind of. I mean, I thought that last meme where he posted into that mirror where he said you were a billionaire. I think that's a really amazing meme. Yeah, but other than that, I don't think he did anything illegal. I know people say he manipulates the market. I just don't understand what was the manipulation there. I don't get it. But yeah, if he manipulates something there, then I think it's going to open the door to a lot of other allegations to other people that do way worse stuff. So yeah, I don't think this is going to find a happy end. That's just my thought. I think the price is still way overpriced, but in the short term, I mean, this thing is super volatile, and if people jump on this, and I wouldn't short this. I'm just impressed how people dare to short this. I really am impressed. I think that's the incredible thing here, because the shorting is just so expensive and so tough. Yeah.
I still think we have something left to see because the short interest right now is bigger than it was in 2021. And as you said, it's super volatile. If there can be a squeeze,
Yeah.
and if there's a squeeze, I mean, this can move against you in no time. So I wouldn't short this. And I bought the position just for fun, a bit of skin in the game that makes me follow. Yeah, a bit.
What is the reverse Uno card that he posts? I don't understand that concept. Like, he posts this reverse Uno card. What is that thing?
I know that it was a thing. Like he went through a live stream back in 2020 or 2021 where he explained his rationale and how he approaches investing. Sometimes he has this 8 ball that tells him, like, he can shake it and it tells him yes or no or maybe. And he has Uno cards that he uses. Like there is a bit of truth in how he names and uses the cards, but mostly it's just trolling and fun. And I don't know. The first Uno reverse card is when he disclosed his position on Superstar. That I know that a lot. And the second one I don't understand fully. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Anything else to add there? Otherwise, we go to the cash and carry trade. But I want to see if there's anything else on that meme stock. I mean, maybe the thing is, why do you think that the meme coins didn't really pump so hard?
Meme stocks or meme coins?
Meme coins.
I don't know. There's just too
or you
many.
think it's just so specific on GME?
Yeah. I don't know if there is of course there is an overlap, because it's kind of the same audience or the same target group that gambles in these things. But right now, when it comes to memes coins, I just feel like the fragmentation is a bit too excessive, and that's probably the reason why they're not doing as well as they did in the early part of the year. I think we mentioned this last time. I don't have the exact number, but you were saying 300,000 or 500,000 meme coins got created just within the last few weeks.
500,000, yeah.
500,000. I mean, the fragmentation is just insane. Of course, we had a few of them that did very well. You have in each community, like Ethereum, you have Pepe. In Solana, I think you have With. There is in every protocol and every meme coin. Every protocol has its meme coin that is doing well, but they're not doing phenomenally well. You still have the old guys, like, I don't know, Doge as the godfather of all the memes. You have Dog on Bitcoin runes, and then maybe the second generation in Sheep and in Floki. But it's not that these things are performing super well. I don't know if they ever will be performing exceptionally well, because the fragmentation is just so insane. I mean, 500,000 coins. Who's going to invest in all of them?
Yeah. Cash and carry trade. Let's discuss that.
So I know for a fact that you're much more knowledgeable on what is actually going on. So let me illustrate the problem, and you were gonna give us. Okay. So,
yeah, maybe let you present those sides of the Twitter accounts, because there's two sides of the Twitter accounts who shill one narrative, and they don't connect those things. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the permabulls basically, and they get what they say. They share two stats consistently, and this is one thing is the ETF inflows. So we had 19 straight days of ETF inflows, sometimes up to 1 billion. I think 800 million or so, but really good days. Not a lot of outflows in GBTC, net inflows. So extremely bullish, super bullish actually. And then you have another stat that is consistently being shared, and this is the Bitcoin short interest, which is also going higher and higher and higher and making new all-time highs. And how can those two things go together? Because you would assume that if there is consistent inflows and consistent buying, that the Bitcoin price is going to go up and the shorts get liquidated. So it's both basically feeding into each other, and both is actually bullish. This is basically the assumption that the hopium dealers and the influencers on Twitter are making. But that's actually not really what's happening in the real world. Can you share some light on that?
Yeah, I mean, so what's missing, in my opinion, and obviously there is a small part of speculation here, because it could be that those events are not caused by each other, but are just correlated, right? But the odds are extremely high that these events actually are caused by each other. So the idea here is the following: that funds go to brokers, and people then always tell me, oh, but this is not possible because you cannot really collateralize the Bitcoin ETFs. Like, you're not going to get a margin loan on those. But here's what a lot of very wealthy funds could easily do. They go and they deposit US dollars, for example. So you deposit US dollars, let's say it's 100 million. And then you loan against 50 million US dollars, you loan against Bitcoin. So you buy $100 million worth of Bitcoin for $50 million. This is totally possible. You pay about 5% interest rate on that, maybe a bit more, but let's say 5%, maybe 6%, doesn't matter. And that's what you pay for that. And then at the same time, you go and you borrow, you go short those Bitcoins but at a future date. And because you go short, you sell those Bitcoins at a guaranteed price, canceling out what you already bought. But this cancellation only happens in the future. So what you then take, you get an additional collateral. Normally, it's not possible to collateral. You use the Bitcoin ETF as collateral. So you would use the other portion, the other $50 million of the cash, and you use it for short. Now, what all these brokers understand is, and again, this is not the retail thing that you and I would be using. This is what these really, really large customized deals are happening, right? So there's a lot of these customized deals if you just have enough funds. Then the broker understands that the Bitcoin ETF would cancel the short position out. So they understand from a collateralization level, it may easily be possible. I just want to be very clear, right? That the broker maybe allows you to deposit $50 million and you can buy $1 billion that you kind of hedge against each other. This is easily possible. I want to be very clear, right? So I actually don't even know what the leverage is on this. The leverage could be insane for the simple reason because anyone who looks at this looks at the risk, and the risk is that either BlackRock, for example, has issues with the Bitcoin, or that CME, where I sell those futures, has issues with the sale position. But so basically, the collateral that I would ask as a fund or as a bank or someone would be just purely for a risk perspective. And so that's how then that trade happens. So you would have inflows that massively go up, and at the same time, you have a short position that massively goes up. So why would the funds do this? The funds do this because there's a so-called spread, a premium in there. And this premium on an annualized basis is around 14% right now. So if these funds pay, I don't know, 5% on the cash that they need, and they get 14%, they're basically netting a complete free 9% on nothing. So the only question is, how much can I scale this, right? How much money can I borrow to do this? And so they're just getting 9% on free money, basically. And so the only question is, how high can I scale this? Can I leverage this as high as I want? And so that's how they all do this. And yeah, and so they're just making some really good money on this. And I just, to me, that's sometimes upsetting in the industry because the odds of this happening are extremely high. It makes a lot of sense. It's called a delta neutral trade because it doesn't matter what the price does. And yeah, to me, that's a very straightforward one. And obviously, there's actually a chance that this premium collapses way earlier than at expiry. And then these funds make their 9% even faster. So yeah, it's called a cash and carry trade. It works really well right now. You can do this yourself. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Fabio? Any questions? Do you think something that maybe someone may not have understood in the explanation, or?
I'm not very fluent in all of these things, call options, put options, arbitrage, cash and carry. It's not really my ball game. I'm just hodling. I'm not trading. I'm boring. But always, when I hear things like that, free money, cash and carry, risk free, every red flag and alarm bell in my head is ringing because I don't know. Bitcoin is a beast that it's untamable, and there is always risk. I don't know, if there is an insane price movement that we see 30% to the downside or 30% to the upside within hours, something needs to give in. Something is going to be liquidated, and somebody can or will lose their money. It's just I don't actually know what I'm talking about, but there is no free money, so I'm a bit scared.
The free money there is, so the free money there, or the risk is more that you're actually missing on the upside. So they're missing on what you're betting on is that Bitcoin doesn't go up more than 14%. Because if it goes up more than 14%, right, you would be way smarter not to take that and go long Bitcoin, but not guarantee to sell it. So that's a bit of the risk. So the question really is, do you think Bitcoin will go higher than 14% over this time period? It's not even until the end. It's really over this time period. Because if Bitcoin goes up more than 14% over this time period, then you actually made not a smart decision in that. You would have made way more money than by just holding a Bitcoin and then selling it when it goes 16% up, right? Then you would have outperformed. So it's nothing else than a bet, actually. And the reason, and there's just so many people believing that Bitcoin goes up a lot, and they want to take that bet and they want to leverage on this bet, right? And so the way they leverage is you cannot really leverage spot. Spot leverage is very difficult. because somehow you really like you only pay for one Bitcoin, but you need somehow two Bitcoin. So what's a lot easier is to leverage futures, because in futures you don't really need the Bitcoins right now. I can deliver the Bitcoins to you at the future rate, at the future price. So there's a lot of people who want to leverage Bitcoin long, and so the trade-off here is that the reason why this arbitrage happens is because there's just so many people who are so bullish on Bitcoin. And because they're so bullish on Bitcoin, they want to leverage, and so you are just taking the other side on that. You're capping your upside, and you have very little downside. The downside really is that BlackRock has an issue with their Bitcoins, and or CME has an issue with their Bitcoins. But other than that, these funds don't really have much of a risk because they're just taking the other side of the bet of those that are willing to take the more risk but way more upside, right? So the question really is, like, you talk to a Bitcoiner and you can say, you tell them, you say, look, do you think over the next, let's say, year, there will be a point that you can sell Bitcoin now? You're buying it right now. So let's say you're buying it at 70,000. It dropped, I understand. But let's say, do you think you can sell it at over 80,000? That's about 15%, approximately. 80,500. If you can sell it at over 80,500 over the next year, doesn't matter when, so it's just within this time period, you would actually not be smart in taking this bet because you're capping. You cannot go higher. But if you think it can go higher, you shouldn't do this deal. And I think a lot of Bitcoiners say, no, I would never do this deal because I actually think Bitcoin will easily go above $80,000 over the next year. It's over the next year, right? Not at the end of, it's somewhere in the middle here. And then there's the other side who says, fine, I'm taking that risk. I'm taking the bet that it's not going to go higher. If it goes higher, then I really leave a lot of money on the table. And it could be insane a lot of money. Like, let's be very clear, right? It could be that you're leaving 50% on the table. Like, the price could go to 100,000, right? So that's the trade-off. So the risk is very limited in a sense. I obviously it's never a risk-free trade, but I don't think that those funds have much risk there.
All right.
That's why they're all doing it. That's why they're doing it. So I think it's limited by how much free money do they get. Because at the end, what these funds want to do is they want to borrow as much money as possible at 6%, for example, and then basically make 15% or 14% on that trade and make the difference risk-free or at no additional cost. So the question is, how much do these funds have to deposit in order to get, let's say, $100 million for this trade? And I don't know. I would assume maybe the bank wants $50 million. I would assume to give them $100 million. That's just a guess. So yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Apple event? Did you watch it yesterday live?
I did. I mean, the software updates when it comes to, let's say, iPhone and Mac OS and so on, decent, but not. Android had I don't know, like the icons that you can move anywhere on the screen. This is like 2011 in the Android world. So Apple kind of, it's not too exciting what they did for iOS and the new Mac OS. But when they went into Apple Intelligence, which they, of course, they never even once said the word AI during the whole live stream, not once. They're calling it Apple Intelligence. It's also AI, but so that's the first thing. And then they're kind of the only ones that can do this. They make their own silicon. So they have silicon that can process these large language models on device. They have the partnership with OpenAI. They make their own hardware and their own software. So they're actually integrating the APIs. And so like the way they're doing it, they're probably the only ones that can approach it from that angle, especially the local stuff, the local image generation and so on. But what blows me away is that they're basically offering ChatGPT. So I'm a user of ChatGPT, as probably most of you are listening to this. But you always need to go into the browser or have a dedicated app and basically leave the place where you're currently working on to go onto ChatGPT, copy, paste, fill it in, use it there, and then come back. And what they did is they integrated it into Notes. They integrated it into Mail, into Siri. It's not only text, it's also voice. And they did image generation and other things that are absolutely mind blowing. If you haven't seen the stream where they talk Apple Intelligence, I would highly recommend it. Just to make an example, what you can do when this goes live is basically you can activate Siri, and I can say, Siri, send me the podcast that my brother sent me during the Christmas period of 2022, and it's going through your messages and through your apps, and it understands context. It knows who your brother is. It knows the time. It knows where to get it. Or I can say, look, I know, for example, I have tomorrow afternoon, I have a meeting at 3 o'clock and I need to pick up my son at 6 o'clock. And so I'm not opening my calendar, but I ask Siri, hey, Siri, do I have time between tomorrow's meeting and picking up my son to go to the gym? And Siri knows, okay, the gym is there, the estimated time of arrival and how long it takes you there. And so, and it knows where your son's daycare is and so on. So it can basically give you, and it will tell you, hey, look, you have 45 minutes left to go to the gym and things like that. The thing that really makes this technology go to the next level is the convenience that the touch point that you have where you're using it. So they're both doing, they're implementing speak to it and type to it, and pressing one button and access AI, or pressing double tap on the screen and accessing AI. And this is the game changer. Also the execution on it. So the way they are bringing it's nothing new. You can do all of the image generation, the ChatGPT, the voice, everything already exists. But the way they're bringing it to you is, in my opinion, an absolute game changer. I think it's insane, and it will give 1 billion people access to legit AI capabilities. So I'm super pumped. I'm going to use these things.
What do you think
Probably every
about
day.
Elon's concerns about privacy?
I don't know. Elon doesn't know how this product works and so on. He's basically using this as a marketing opportunity. I'm expecting him to bring out. Please try again. I'm expecting him to bring out his own product or his own phone or whatever. He's gonna
Really?
venture
Okay.
into. Yeah, he's already competing. He hates OpenAI. He thinks it should be
he
named
does.
Closed AI. He is developing his own AI assistant in Grok. I think the obvious things why he's telling those things is he's probably working on a phone or something, or I don't know, they have other partnership things going on, or he enables Grok in Tesla or whatever. I don't know. But there is an obvious incentive behind the things that he says. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. And I think it's gonna. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it's really difficult there to judge a bit the motivation. I agree. What do you think about tomorrow FOMC meeting?
I don't
I
know.
mean, Warren just came out, made that request to actually lower rates. Twitter has been sharing this a lot. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think we're going to see a lowering tomorrow, or?
I don't think so. It's if they want to lower, probably tomorrow is the last time they really can, because if they wait, we need to wait 2 months. So now we are in June. If 2 months later, the next FOMC meeting is in August. If they lower it in August, it will have a political undertone. People will accuse them, now you're just lowering it for the elections. That's my thinking. So if they want to lower, they need to do it tomorrow. The chances of them actually doing it, I think, are quite low. But if they do, and that's what most people forget, if you go back into, I think the last time they lowered rates was June 2020. And if you go to June 2020, lowering of rates is actually not that bullish. The first few months after they lower rates was when we saw altcoins capitulating against their Bitcoin pairs. And it really, like, Bitcoin started to pick up, of course, but for the broader risk on market, the actual lowering of rates is actually not that bullish. It takes some time until the liquidity really picks up and the market kind of heats up again. So I don't know if they're going to lower it. I would say short term it's probably bearish for some risk on assets, and
Quite
later
interesting.
in
Yeah,
the year.
actually, I agree. Interesting take. Similar aligned. Yeah. Mhm.
Do you think there is a chance that they're going to lower it?
No. No. No chance. No chance.
Yeah, inflation is still too hot. I don't know.
No chance. This is. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's the wrong signal. People would really feel weirded out. I see. No chance. No chance. Yeah.
Is do you
Yep.
would you even consider that they're going to lower it in 2020, or would you
Yeah.
say it's probably yeah?
No, no, they will lower this year. Yeah. And I actually
So
think they will lower. I don't think they care so much about the election. I think they will lower it in September or something. I think they will. Maybe August. I don't know.
but would you say if so? Let's play this through. If you would say okay, let's say they going in August or September and they lower it. This is short term bearish, long term bullish, right?
I don't know. At that point, I'm not sure. I think right now it's just the market really doesn't expect it. So I think if they lower it right now, would be really confused. I don't know. I think the signaling. I think tomorrow is more gonna be about the signaling. What's gonna be the expectation for the rest of the year? That's way more important than that they don't do anything tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. The forward guidance, so the words that Jay Powell is using, they're gonna be the
The dot
juice.
plot, the dot plot
Yeah.
chart. Yeah. What do you think about Thursday? Do you think Elon is gonna get his 50 billion pay package? I voted
So
yes.
I would pray that he gets it. I think he earned it. I think
Yeah.
it's the right
Oh,
way
for
to do
sure.
it. He needs, in my opinion, he needs to get it. I'm not 100% sure if he will, because you have a lot of weird, interested parties that actually hold a shit ton of Tesla shares that already spoken out against it, like pension funds in Norway that
What
own
is?
like
I don't
2%.
understand. What's the angle there? I still don't understand it. Like, what do they think?
I, I don't know. I just think they're influenced by a socialist agenda. That
Yeah.
their mindset and how these companies or these entities or these institutions function. They're just so they approach this from a socialistic perspective. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's they
Zero.
kind of confuse a few things or are slightly brainwashed. But I think that's the reason why they wouldn't give it to him, because my God, if Elon, he earned this. Like he really did.
Of course, dude. He's like, hey, I'm gonna raise the value up by 800 million, and all I want 10% of that. I need these metrics. Everyone is like, yeah, sure, you're never gonna achieve this, but sure. Then this crazy dude achieves it, and those a-holes are like, oh no, now you're not getting paid.
Mm. Ah, crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. We said we need to finish it at 40. So, any other final things from your side? But I don't think so.
No, I think we touched on the bigger happenings. Crypto is not that hot at the moment. I think
It
most
isn't.
things are more in the macro world. Is the FOMC that we're definitely going to reflect on next week. It's Elon Musk. We're also going to reflect on that, and let's say other things that are currently happening around the world. I'm 100% sure that within the next week that there will be enough other things to talk about. So definitely make sure to tune in next week again. It's not going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be on Thursday. Also an
Yep.
exception, just to give you guys a heads up. And yeah, the only thing I want to mention is there is a lot of exciting stuff coming to Bake. Really, we're not there yet. Not everything is finished, but I would say this month, end of this month, the app is going to look and feel and work completely
Oh,
different
100%.
than what everybody's used to. And you should definitely give this another chance, because custom portfolios, I think nobody in the whole industry, not in the classical world, not in the crypto world, is doing this. And I think it's going to be super interesting that people can actually make their custom bundles. Other people can use them, and it kind of gives you a new way to structure. Look, we say bundles, but it's actually an index or an ETF-like thing. And if there is going to be a bundle that is going to largely outperform, and I think it's community wisdom, swarm intelligence. There are going to be a few super exciting bundles. And to see what other people are doing with their capital is always an added value. So I'm super excited to see what people come up with.
Cool. Agree. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it. It's day 14. See you in all the daily videos. See you next week. Have a good one. All the best, Julian and Fabio.